What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back and we can give you all of your tech news stories from the past 7 days in one single video. And we had a very exciting week of tech news. Everything from the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Fold 3, OneUI4 beta launching, to seeing real images of the S22 Ultra, when the S22 series of phones is going to launch, release, pre-order dates, S21 Fan Edition, launch date and pre-order / release date, and so much more. Even we talk about there potentially being the Pixel Fold Google Play Edition. Also, Pixel Fold cameras, we even learned stuff about that. So amazing week of tech news. So enjoy this week and we'll see you in the next one. Today is about the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3 for the last couple of days, weeks. We've been talking about OneUI4 beta coming over to the Z Flip 3 and Z Fold 3. And as of basically last night, early this morning, you can now get the OneUI4 beta on your Galaxy Z Fold 3 and Z Flip 3. I got it last night. I got a message from, and I'm gonna do this in real time, so sorry about that. He messaged me on Instagram. His name is Mike. It's just Mike. It just Mike on Instagram. Thank you so much. You messaged me last night, told me it's like midnight. I just woke up at like 1 in the morning, checked my phone. I was like, oh damn, I got the update. So I was super stoked. I installed it. I got it going right now. I don't see really anything too bad about it so far. I'll show you one thing that I see is though, when I go into like, and I know I can go into the settings and mess with, but like when I open up the Target app in the big screen, it's not taking over the whole app, or the whole screen, I should say. I know there's a setting for it because previously it was just doing it, and now when I did the update, it's not. So certain apps are acting like this, even though they're probably set within the settings to be full screen. I'll check again to see if it's not, but stupid things like that. The other thing is, and I'm not having this issue because I checked my front display settings after I saw this article, but as you can see from Sam Mobile, they're saying that the Galaxy Z Fold 3 on the cover display, the small display, the front one, is that you're getting 120 hertz is broken on there. I don't seem to be having that issue, but if you are, just know that they will fix it in an upcoming beta. But as of right now, mine's working pretty damn good. Next up is about the Galaxy S21 Fan Edition, a phone we've heard that might potentially come out at the end of January, early February, just like the S22. Well, we're hearing it might come out even earlier than both of those dates. So this is coming from Max Jamber saying the Galaxy S21 Fan Edition won't be available until January 11th, which is sooner than we've heard, next year. And then he just goes on to, kind of make a joke. But ultimately, January 11th, S21 Fan Edition. I've also heard potentially, don't lock this in, but potentially the S22 line of phones might be also available on January 11th. I don't think so. I think that'll come out later. I don't think they want to mix both of those phones together. But yeah, if you're looking forward to the S21 Fan Edition, it might be literally a lot closer than you had expected. First story of the day is if you have a Google One membership. Now, the Google One membership, specifically the one I'm talking about, is if you're thinking of or you're signing up for the 2 terabyte version of that. That's where you can save all of your stuff, like your photos and your phone backup stuff and all that, file things. You might have received an email from Google, and it seems like it's only for new customers, but I have to expect this is going to roll out to everybody because Google, if you have any part of their Google One membership, you generally get a free gift every single year, and it looks like this one, I would guess, is going to roll out to everybody, but right now it's only new customers. And here's what it says. It says if you upgrade to a premium annual plan, you get the new Nest Hub on us. So that means, again, you'd have to get the 2 terabyte plan, which is $100 a year. This is the one I have just because I end up saving so much videos and photos to my cloud, and I want it backed up, and I have it all synced up to my Google devices, and it's great to just see all the photos all the time. You'll get one of these devices. You get a little, coupon code basically to order it. And not everybody has gotten it, but I would assume, again, most people are probably going to end up getting this, especially if you're already on the plan. It'd be kind of weird if they only do it for the new people, but keep your eye out for email. If you see something like that, it should be real and it should be from Google. Next up, if you have the Galaxy S21 phone and you have the OneUI4 beta installed, they pushed out another update and it fixes a ton of bugs. So go into your software updates and check for this. But ultimately, as you can see, this laundry list of bug fixes. It removes the stretch effect, which is not a bug, but I guess they're having trouble with the stretch effect. When overscroll was operated, they removed a pop-up window that appeared after the first start of the application. Wi-Fi and hotspot stuff, fingerprint recognition, phone restart during a phone call. When closing all recent apps, the One UI home was terminated or rebooted. And that's not all. They also did some of this stuff as well. You can see app update information. The apps below may be updated to the latest version after the software updating. There's a bunch of Samsung apps. It's an 807 meg update, so it's very, very big, available right now. The next story is totally goofy, and I don't know if I would, maybe I'd buy it just because I had a channel and I would do it, but I actually don't think I can. I think it's only for Australian people. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, definitely set me straight, but there are official Samsung jeans that have a pocket for a Galaxy Z Fold 3 phone, and they come with a Galaxy Z Fold 3. So check this out. It's coming directly from Samsung, saying that Samsung and Dr. Denim, who's really big in Australia, say goodbye to large pockets with the Z Flip Pocket Denim jeans. And these jeans go for $1,500. But like I said, they do come with a Galaxy Z Fold 3. And they're limited to only 450 pairs of these jeans. They come in men's and women's sizes. And I believe you can do it right now if you want to order these. But again, it might only be Australia only. I know Dr. Denim does have an American site too. I've never even heard of Dr. Denim until this article. Again, another fashion designer thing that Samsung's making affiliation with that I feel like half the world doesn't even know who they are. Like, where's Levi's? Where's like Guess Jeans or somebody like people know? Like, this is so weird. And the last story, as you can see from this headline, super interesting. Samsung's betting on AI, which is artificial intelligence, powered S Pens and its increasing popularity. So it sounds like from this article, and they're basing it off a video, is that Samsung is potentially going to add some kind of AI features in their future S Pens so that they can, I don't know, maybe figure out what you're going to do next or what you want to do, or add extra features within the S Pen and bring S Pens to more devices. It's kind of interesting. I'm wondering where Samsung's going to go with this. Like, are they going to go in this completely weird direction of adding artificial intelligence so that it works in a way that, I mean, I can't even imagine. I'm just curious. Like, first one is a lot of hopeful wishing, guys. And the reason I say that is because yesterday, Samsung and Google had gone back and forth on Twitter, kind of like flirting with each other in a way. And they ultimately had this tweet from Samsung saying, it's a little chat log with Android and Google in the chat saying 120 hertz screen with multi-windows, please, and 5 cameras. Oh, and don't forget about our OS. Hey, our fave Google apps and features too. And then Samsung says, oops, just saw this. And if you look in the replies and things, there's another one from Android saying, Google, is it time yet? And then Samsung even replies to that saying it is time. And what they do is they post this video, and the video like says Samsung X Google, and ultimately it just shows like the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Galaxy Z Fold 3. But I'm trying to read behind all of this because, as you know, Pixel Fold is supposed to be a real device that supposedly launches in 2022. Now, call me crazy, and it's total wishful thinking, but hear me out. I'm thinking, because we had this in the past, Samsung years ago, it might have been 10 years ago, if not longer, came out with a Samsung device called the Google Play Edition, and it had Samsung hardware, but it ultimately ran Google, just plain vanilla Android software. And I think it was the one time only Samsung and Google did that, if I remember correctly. And I'm thinking we might see it again, this time with this phone, the Galaxy Z Flip 2 or Z Flip 3. But instead of having and running Google or Samsung software, it would run Google software, like just plain old vanilla Android, the same type you see on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, albeit maybe a little bit customized more so for the folding phones. That's my guess. That's what I'm thinking we're getting at there. Between these, you see it in the Samsung press conferences where Samsung's like, oh my God, we're working with partners and it's Google. It's like, dude, no crap. Everybody's working with Google that makes an Android phone. Everyone has the same apps. Everyone has this and that. It's like, we know this already. But I don't know. call me crazy. What do you guys think? That's going to be I'm going to give you your question a little bit earlier today. We got more stories, but your question of the day is going to be, am I crazy? Do you think there's going to be a Galaxy Z Fold 2/3 that is a Google Play edition that just runs vanilla Android, albeit with a couple of customizations? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, as you can see from the tweet from Ice Universe, Samsung will enhance the details of the 108 megapixel mode in the S22 Ultra, 100% confirmed. Now, what does he mean by that? I think what he means is that the quality of the 108 megapixel photos is going to be that much more enhanced in terms of it's going to look better, more detailed. That's my guess based off what he's saying right there. But any improvement on camera performance and picture taking overall and video taking is super fine by me. So whatever you got to do it. And our last story of the day, a little Black Friday deal going on right now, obviously until at least Black Friday. You can get a Galaxy Z Fold 3. This is without trade-in. You can still trade in and get more off, but even without trade-in, it's a $250 instant rebate or instant takeoff, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to get this phone for its, basically, I think it's its cheapest price yet, and throw in some trade-ins, you can get this phone for pretty cheap. Also, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 is $100 off, and if you get the Galaxy Z Fold 3 or Flip 3, you will get free Galaxy Buds 2 earphones. So take advantage of the deal. The deal is linked down below. Our first story of the day is a deal, Galaxy Watch 4. We're getting up on Black Friday, guys. So if you want to take advantage of this quote unquote Black Friday deal, which I don't know if this specific deal on Amazon is going to last super long. So if you do it, you probably want to jump on it right now. It's about the Galaxy Watch 4, not the classic with the rotating bezel. This one has a digital rotating bezel. But check this out. This is $50 off. You can get the either 40 millimeter for $199 or the 44 millimeter for $229. It's the Bluetooth/Wi-Fi version, and under $200 to get a smartwatch from Samsung, which this is a really, really good watch. This is a watch that has the Wear OS now installed on there. It's got the walkie-talkie app that you can take advantage of and a bunch of other stuff. Way more app selection than the Samsung older watches did, like the 1, 2, and 3. So great upgrade to do. Looking for a Christmas present, looking for a gift for the hubby or the wife or the kids for Christmas. This is a fantastic gift to get them to be very, very happy with it. Pick it up, link down below, guys. Next up is all about the Galaxy S22 Ultra and how the S Pen responsiveness has increased, I should say, like the speed of it has increased drastically, like crazy. Now, the fastest that Samsung has come out on previous phones with the S Pen has been 9 milliseconds, which at the time, people were like, oh my goodness, this writes so good. It's so amazing. It writes in terms of, feels like I'm writing just like with a pen. I don't feel any delay, because that's really what the milliseconds and the responsiveness means, is that you just don't feel any delay. It feels like you're basically writing in real time with something that you would, like a pencil or a pen in real life. Samsung seemingly has broken that record by a lot, like destroyed it. Check this out. This is a tweet from Ice Universe. Now, it's pretty vague, but you've got to assume, because why not? Who doesn't like to make an ass out of themselves? Ice Universe says 2 milliseconds. That's all he writes. It's very vague. You know, you got to buy into what he's actually saying. But what else could we be talking about? It's got to be the S Pen, right? So we're looking at the S Pen having a crazy improvement, not that it really needed one, but an even crazier improvement with the responsiveness when you write with the pen on the display of the S22 Ultra. This is freaking crazy, guys. I mean, I say it all the time, I'm not an S Pen guy. I'm just not. It doesn't fit into my lifestyle. The screen's too small, and it just doesn't fit into my lifestyle. I don't need to be writing with a pen. But if you are, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be a big selling point already for the phone, and it's much needed, because we're looking at the S22 Ultra, and in some ways it seemingly hasn't changed that much versus the S21 Ultra, except for the S Pen being inside, the camera on the back being slightly redesigned. We've heard rumors that the cameras won't be that big of an upgrade versus the S21 Ultra, that it's going to be more software-based improvements versus hardware, and those software improvements would still probably come to the S21 Ultra. Obviously, you're going to see improvements in the performance of the phone ever so slightly, because it's going to have a faster processor, maybe more RAM, but at least the same amount of RAM. Storage-wise, is probably going to be very similar. But this is kind of good. This is good to see these little, changes, things that people might want or need and are looking forward to. This would be a big one, I think, for a lot of people. and that is about the Google Pixel Fold. Now, when I talk about the Google Pixel Fold, before I dive into the information about it, it's gonna be a phone very similar to the Galaxy Z Fold 3 in that it folds like this. It looks like this as a display that's on the outside. When you open it up, you have this huge display with cameras on the back, a camera on there, and a camera right there. And it's not going to be like the flip phone. It's gonna be more like the fold phones from Samsung. Now, with that said, let's jump into this news. This is coming from 9 to 5 Google, and as you can see from their headline, they're jumping in deep into this, saying Google Pixel's foldable phone coming in 2022. Cameras will be a step down from the Pixel 6 phones. And I do recommend you read the whole article. It is linked in the description. But basically, when we look through this, just picking some things off on this. So it was originally going to be called the Passport. That was the code name for the phone. It's now changed it to Pipit, which is whatever. Pipit, you love it, you hate it. Not a really big deal. It's just the name of, the code name for the phone. And that means that if you really dive into that, really, they say that something probably changed about the phone, and that's why the code name also changed. They say back to the camera specs, the Pipit Foldable, also known as the Pixel Fold, will feature a 12 megapixel IMX 386 sensor that, if we can rely on the Pixel 6 design, should be used for an ultra wide camera. One quirk worth noting is that within the code, the specific camera is tagged with folded, which suggests that it would only be used when the phone is folded closed, meaning that if you want to use that ultra wide camera, it seems like on the Pixel Fold, you're gonna have to have the phone closed in order to use it. Kind of weird, I don't understand why, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. The Pixel Foldable will also come with two 8 megapixel IMX 355 sensors, one tagged as inner and the other as outer. Now, those include the Pixel 6, but not the Pixel 6 Pro. Typically have used the IMX 355 as front-facing selfie cameras first. We believe the inclusion of two identical cameras will ensure that the Pixel Foldable will have the same quality of selfies when folded or unfolded. Here's the breakdown of the cameras, and they go on to say that the cameras, like the main cameras, are basically the same cameras that are in the Pixel 5, Pixel 4, and Pixel 3. Now, those, to me, still take amazing photos. So even though these won't be the same exact cameras as the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, I'm still pretty happy with the Pixel 5 cameras on taking photos of people and things like that. Also, the main reason why they're potentially not using Pixel 6 cameras are due to the fact that they can keep the phone fairly slim, and the camera bump might be a little bit too much with the Pixel 6 cameras, but with the Pixel 5 cameras, it won't be as big, so they can still keep that foldable phone fairly thin. They also go on to say that potentially the phone will probably come out in March of 2022, because that's when they expect Android 12L to launch. Android 12L should launch at the same time or really near the launch of the Pixel Fold. So that all seems to make sense, and it's something I thought about as well a week or two ago when they announced Android 12L. I think I said the same thing, that it'll probably all launch together. Some other things that I'm wondering, and they do too as well in the article, is will the screen that's on, the camera on the big screen, is that going to have a under display camera, or is it going to have a camera that sits on top? I think it's gonna look very similar to the Galaxy Z Fold 2, where you can actually see the camera, but I don't think it'll be as big as a whole. I think it'll be a little bit smaller, so it doesn't take up maybe so much eye soreness from what you would probably see on there. And also, you would expect, if you can see it, that they would take better selfie photos and videos than what you get on the Galaxy Z Fold 3, because this is kind of a potato camera when it comes down to it on that main display there. It's just not that great. And then when you take into effect, I mean, they didn't talk about this, but you got to expect that it's going to have the Tensor process in there, which runs really well. You got to expect it's going to have a lot of the same customizations and optimizations in the software that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro have, which is really fast phone, really good performance. You got to expect it's probably going to have 12 gigabytes of RAM like the Pixel 6 Pro. I don't think they're going to drop it down to 8. Storage-wise, you got to expect, since it's a foldable phone, you gotta expect 256 gigs as a baseline, especially with this phone's probably gonna have a premium price tag. I expect the price to be $1,500. I think it's gonna be much lower than what we get with the Samsung phones, foldable Samsung phones. I think it'll be a couple to a few $100s cheaper, so that's why I'm thinking $14.99 when they release it. Hell, I won't even be I won't even be shocked if it's less than that, especially if they're using slightly older technology or, you know, using parts that maybe aren't as great on other foldable phones just so they can get more sales for their foldable phone. But this is super exciting to me. I've said it to people, I've said it in some of my videos. If there was a Pixel Fold, especially if it had this kind of hardware and layout and software and everything and the feel of this, I'd probably leave the Samsung side just because this is so, there's something special about this phone, the way it feels. You really got to use it for a while and you'll kind of know what I mean. It's just so, it's a gooey feeling. And I mean gooey in a way like a gooey chocolate chip cookie, like that feeling. It's just like in your mouth and it just feels amazing. It tastes amazing and makes you feel good inside. But then after a while you feel like crap. But you know, this phone doesn't make you feel like crap. It's like, that's what I want with that experience of the foldable phone. I'm a little let down that the cameras won't be as good on the Pixel Fold potentially as they are on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Can I live with Pixel 5 type cameras? Yeah, I can. I can be pretty happy with that. We have some huge stories today all about the Galaxy S22 line of phones. We have a real life image of the S22 Ultra with real life S Pen. These aren't renders, these are real life photos. And we also have some information on the actual pre-order and release date for the S22 line of phones. And it's a little bit later than we kind of thought. Not, I mean, super late, but it's kind of in the time frame, but definitely later than I kind of expected. And we have a handful of questions, so with that said, let's jump into the tech news. Our first story of the day, let's talk about these real-life images. These were leaked by Front Page Tech. I'll link the site down below. You can read the whole article and see all the images. With that said, let's dive into this first. Here are the first real-life photos of the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. You can see the camera at the top there, which they're separated, meaning that there's no kind of body connecting them. It does have the P-shaped design, but there's nothing physically connecting, or, you know, nothing's on an island. They're just, you know, this is the design, what it's going to look like. These are real life images. You can also see the squared off edges. You can see on the front of the display that the software looks extremely similar to every other One UI version, which it should, because it's going to be running OneUI4 out of the box, maybe 4.1. But it still looks very, very familiar to what we've had in previous Galaxy phones. You can see the camera punch hole at the top in the middle, so no under display camera, and we kind of expected that. We knew that. We can also see when when you pop out the S Pen at the bottom that you'll be able to write on the screen, and that the S Pen is insertable into the Galaxy S22 Ultra. First time on an S-line phone. Last year it was on the back with a case. Here's the bottom view of it, showing the speaker, the USB-C port, and also the S Pen inserted into the bottom of the phone. And obviously that's at the bottom left. I know it's showing at the bottom right, but if you flip the phone off and use it in a regular orientation, it's going to be on the bottom left. And again, everything's what we expected. The camera cutout again, here's just a bigger photo of the whole entire phone showing it all off, and super interesting to see this. It's quite early for the most part. This phone, which we'll talk about in a second, isn't going to be out for a few months, but extremely exciting to see this kind of stuff. From what we've seen of previous created renders, it looks pretty much identical to all that stuff, and everything seems like the same. And to see this in the real life in the black color, what do you guys think? That'll be your question of the day, but we still have another story. I'll throw that in. What do you think of Galaxy S22 Ultra? You liking the look? You liking the S Pen insertion? Let me know. Next story, again, also from Front Page Tech, put out a tweet talking about the Galaxy S22 line of phones, and actually S21 Fan Edition as well. But ultimately, S21 Fan Edition is gonna, the event for it will be January 4th, 2022, which I believe is right during CES, if I'm not mistaken. No pre-order period. Doesn't look like they're gonna have a pre-order, which is weird, but it will be available a week later on January 11th, so you'll be able to get that in hand January 11th. And then the Unpacked event for the Galaxy S22 line of phones is February 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Pre-orders begin on the same day, February 8th, and it'll be available 10 days later, February 18th, 2022. So that's a lot of news in just one bit of a story there, guys. So I know the S22 is the more exciting in the phone. So pre-order and launch will be February 8th. And then 10 days later, February 18th, it'll actually be in your hand. It might be in your hand a few days earlier, especially if you pre-order it. But if you pick it up at this store, you buy it at the store, or maybe it just gets delivered a little bit later, February 18th, no later than that it would actually be in your hand. First story of the day, like I said, is about the Pixel 6 Pro. Now, as you know, this phone does have an under-display fingerprint sensor. And under-display fingerprint sensors aren't always compatible with screen protectors to the point where it might not work. Well, Google has made up their own official list of screen protectors from third-party companies that will work with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. So here is the current list that they have going on there, that these are, again, certified brands that work with the Pixel 6's fingerprint sensor. And it seems like they're all out of stock, I guess, based off of this 9 to 5 Google article. But you see there's a couple from OtterBox, and everything's pretty inexpensive, at least the ones from OtterBox are. There's some Panzer Glass ones. It says the accessory is not yet listed on the company's website. Those details are available on third-party retailers. These ones go for almost 30 bucks. And then the Zag ones are also not listed on the Made for Google page, but I guess they are. They do work, whatever, with the Pixel 6 phones. And these are kind of expensive at 40 and 50 bucks. But yeah, if you want to use the under-display fingerprint sensor and you want a glass protector for your phone, these ones are certified for that, or at least to be able to work with that. So keep that in mind. Other than that, you could always just get one if it didn't work and just, unlock your phone with a pattern, because this doesn't have face unlock, and it does have, the only other way to unlock the phone would be the fingerprint sensor or a screen lock. But there you guys go. That is your list. There you guys go.